Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Austin and today we're going to be talking about how to use a sketchbook. Might seem obvious, but I think sometimes some of us, we see a lot of these artists with really amazing sketchbooks that we could be intimidated. And today I want to show you how to get the most out of your sketchbook and why it's beneficial to use one. First off, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon if you're new here, and also check out the links in our description. We have digitalpaintschool.com where we teach online courses on digital painting, go really in depth, and you can join our Discord server where you can meet up with other artists, connect with them, and get feedback on your work. It's a really awesome place to hang out, so check it out. Today's video suggestion is actually from the Discord from Reverend Captain Perry. Oh, let me double check here. Reverend Captain Perry Pateo. Don't know if that's his real name, but if it is, impressive title. First off, I want to start by talking about sort of why you should even use a sketchbook. I think today with a lot of stuff being digital, people don't use sketchbooks as much, and to be honest, I don't use a sketchbook as much either, but I think if I'm being fair, I would benefit more if I did. I still have one, but the last time I drew in it was like a little over a week ago, I think. And even if you're only drawing it, you know, you work digitally a lot and maybe you're an artist who's really busy, you already have a lot of client work, I totally get it, but it's good to just still have one around to jot out ideas when you have the time. Let's talk about really what the uses are. Obviously, you can put sketches in it. One of the main uses, though, is that it serves as a record. When you have a sketchbook, especially when you're starting out and you're constantly drawing in it and throwing your ideas in there, as you get better and sort of progress, it's this really awesome record of sort of where you started and where you've ended up. And that can be really fulfilling to be able to look back on times when you're feeling like maybe your art isn't doing so good and see how much you've actually improved since you began. So that's one use of why you might want to keep one of these around. The second reason is it opens opportunities. If you're carrying a sketchbook around all the time, it increases the likelihood that someone's going to see it and say, oh, are you an artist? Do you do this, right? You could get potential jobs, you can meet other artists. Who knows what opportunities might come up by carrying a sketchbook around and having people be able to look at it and see it. If you don't want people to look through it, that's totally fine. You don't have to do that. If you want to keep it more private, nothing wrong. If you do want to show people and you have some good stuff in there to show off, it's a great way to get more people interested in what you're doing. And the last thing is that it builds momentum. When we start doing art, this interesting thing happens where the more we do it, the more we kind of get into this flow state and we want to create more and more and more. And when you have a sketchbook, it's really easy to pump stuff out. You finish a page, you get really excited, you just flip on to the next one and keep going. And next thing you know, you fill the whole sketchbook. When you're just sort of drawing sporadically, it can be hard to maintain that motivation and the momentum isn't there. It feels like more of this monumental task every time you have to sit down to draw when you have these big gaps in between. And having a sketchbook really helps eliminate that because you can just keep continuing in that flow state, so to speak. So those are some reasons why you might have one. Before we get into the specifics of, you know, what you can do with a sketchbook and how you should be thinking about it, at least in my opinion, don't let some dude on the internet tell you how to use your sketchbook. These are just more of suggestions. But what not to do is don't focus or stress out a ton about making beautiful finished pieces in your sketchbook. That's not what a sketchbook is for. That's what, you know, a canvas is for, or your iPad or your tablet, right? This is a place where you can just mess around. If you're constantly feeling stressed out about the stuff in your sketchbook not being good enough, then you're limiting the amount of usage you can get out of your sketchbook. Take a step back, take a breather, and realize it's just a sketchbook. If every single page in here looks like garbage, fine. There's literally nothing wrong with that. This is not where you're going to be putting your masterpieces. And if you put a ton of effort into making every sketch in here beautiful and perfect, you're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities to explore and make mistakes. So throw that idea out the window and just start drawing. The second thing that I really hope none of you do with your sketchbook that as a beginner is really tempting, and when you get older you're gonna regret it and wish you didn't, is ripping pages out of your sketchbook. I have done this before when I was probably in like high school or junior high. I've seen a lot of other artists do the same thing, and it is a tragedy. I know there might be pages that you just don't like. You think they look like garbage, like trash, like poop. They probably do, and that is okay. Just leave them in there. Like I said, this isn't for masterpieces. It's okay if people see something that's not perfect, but one day you're gonna wish that you still had that page so you could look at it and see how you've progressed. And even in our worst sketches, there might still be a gem of a good idea hiding in there that can be reworked at a later point. That's my big recommendation. Just don't rip the pages out. It's okay. If you really hate it that much, start a new sketchbook. I'm not even kidding you. I'd way rather you just completely start a new sketchbook and have one completely unfinished than rip pages out. But like I said, up to you. One of the great uses about Sketchbook and how you should try to utilize it is to be able to experiment with different techniques. Your sketchbook can be a place where you try new methods of creating art that maybe are a bigger commitment to do on a finished final piece. So this can range from anything that your sketchbook can handle. I personally beat my sketchbooks up a lot. If you look over here, I grabbed some of these older ones. I mean, they're pretty falling apart. The spines are all busted. You know, the edges are all frayed. This one especially is just got all sorts of paint and, you know, collage stuff, watercolor in here. And that's totally fine. This is your chance to explore different mediums, markers, pencils, colored pencils, watercolor, acrylic, whatever you want. Try it. You know, see if it sticks in there. It might get messy, that's totally fine. And it might not even be optimal, but it gives you a way with a low commitment to just try different things out. You don't know what you're gonna find or what you might like that you can take into your other art. And even if you're a digital artist, experimenting with these different methods is still super helpful, because as a digital painter, there's lots of ways to paint, there's lots of different brushes, and you might find something that you really like that you want to implement into your digital art and try and sort of replicate digitally what you did traditionally. I think that's some of where my greatest ideas came from, was just experimenting, putting watercolor down on non-watercolor paper and trying to figure out how to make it work well, and then drawing over the top of it with colored pencils to throw my highlights and stuff in there. You can do all sorts of different mixed media, and it opens up a lot of doors than just using it opens up than just using blah blah blah. I can't remember what I was saying. It opens up a lot of doors, so try it. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to tell you about my new website, digitalpaintschool.com. So Digital Paint School is my new website where you'll be able to take digital painting courses covering a wide variety of topics. We're going to be teaching environment design, concept art, anime, manga, human anatomy, basically anything you can think of. There'll be multiple instructors on there who are experts in their industry, who actually work in the field that they're teaching, and you can even sign up for one-on-one mentorships with any of our instructors, where every week they're going to meet with you, they're going to be doing drawovers, paint-ups of your work, talking about your artistic goals, and even giving you specific assignments tailored exactly to what you're trying to accomplish. Also included is access to our private community of artists, where you can meet other students who are taking the same courses as you, share your assignments, get feedback, actually interact with your instructors, as well as join fun art challenges and cool art prompts to come up with creative ideas. The whole goal of this website is to help you build a portfolio that's actually going to get you hired in the industry. And the cool thing is, there's a 14-day money-back guarantee. So if you buy any of our courses and you just don't like them, you don't feel like it's worth it, you can get a refund for any reason, no questions asked, and you don't even have to worry about it. So if you want to paint images like I do in my videos, then click the link in the description below and go check it out. That's all. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Now back to the video. Alright, the next thing is to use it to explore ideas. Now this seems obvious, but I mean really explore. Sometimes you get an interesting concept maybe right before you go to bed, or like you have a dream about something cool, you might jot it down, but go ahead and draw it as many times as you want. You can draw the same thing over and over again, just exploring it until it gets it out of your head. And like I said, it's totally fine. This isn't some finished piece. You don't have to worry about making people get annoyed or bored by seeing you draw the same thing over and over again. Try different versions and different iterations to see what you like. My sketchbooks are filled to the brim with the same concept for page after page after page, and I think it's interesting because you can sort of see over the course of time how I was sort of fixated on different ideas and how I sort of worked through when they evolved throughout my work. At one point, I was obsessed with drawing birds, and I drew everything into a bird. Bird octopus, bird trees, all sorts of weird bird stuff, birds with lightsabers for heads. I don't know, I was just into it, but it was fun, and it also helped me learn how to draw birds a lot better than I used to. So just run with it, explore, get those ideas out there, and you never know when you might stumble upon a perfect hidden gem that you can put out onto a full finished canvas or painting on your tablet. The next one is to use your sketchbook to do studies. Now there's sort of two main-ish types of studies that I use my sketchbook for. One is to do studies of other artists' work. Drawings, sketches, paintings, things that I see in other artists that I just think are amazing and that I want to try and learn how to do myself. So when I see that, I'll print out their picture or pull it up on my phone, and I will just try to replicate it straight into my sketchbook as closely as possible. I'm not trying to claim that their work is my work or pass it off as I created it. I'm just trying to have a place where I can do studies of something else that I think is really cool and see if I can learn something from it in my own art. Sketchbook is a great place to do that because, like I said, it's not really for anyone else but you. And it's just fun to be able to create artwork that you find beautiful in other people's art and recreate it in your own. The other type of studies that I like to do in mine are more anatomical or, you know, just reference studies, whether it's going to be lighting or skeletal structure, whatever it is. I do a lot of anatomy studies in my sketchbook where I will pull up skeletal structures of animals like horses, dogs, cats, whatever it is, and just copy down the skeletal structure, the musculature, label it so that I can start to understand anatomy better and have a place where it's built up. I also really like to be able to go back later and reference it and look at those anatomical structures in a nice, easy, you know, combined place, as opposed to having scrolling through a bunch of files on my iPad. I think the other benefit about doing studies, especially in anatomical ones in paper, at least that I prefer, is that on digital, it's really easy to use the lasso tool or the liquify tool or the undo tool to just make it exactly perfect. But on paper, it really forces you to pay attention to proportions and get things really, really accurate, which is why I like doing my studies in paper, because I learn it a lot better. It gets sort of cemented in my mind and I don't get to, you know, use all the benefits of digital art to fudge things around and make it look right. The last thing that you should try using your sketchbook for, in my humble, absolutely right opinion, is to use it as a source of inspiration. And what I mean by that is fill it with stuff that inspires you. Every time you open up a page of your sketchbook, I want you to be able to get excited about drawing. The way that I do that in mine is myriad of reasons, myriad of ways, not reasons. I'll put collage in there, I'll put quotes, I'll put reference photos, just things that I think are fun or cool or interesting that when I see them kind of gets my creative spark flowing a little bit. I also think it's interesting to be able to look back through the phases of my life and see, you know, what I found inspiring at the moment, whether it be quotes or, you know, the images I put in there. But having reference photos taped in there at easy access, having, you know, quotes from your favorite artists or whatever it is to just give you that little bit of a push to keep going, keep drawing, keep exploring, I think makes it so that your sketchbook can become almost like a sacred place for you, a place where you can go and express yourself creatively. Oh, and one last thing for what you should use your sketchbook for, just self-expression. Like I said, it's not for anyone else except for you, and if you're a production artist like me, sometimes you might get caught in this trap of creating art that will either sell or perform well or any of these other things. But ultimately, if you're an artist, it's because at least on some level you find some form of joy or expression in creating these different images. And if you find yourself caught up with a bunch of work, client work and all of that, at least have a place where you can make whatever the hell you want without any judgment or any care in the world, no matter how stupid or weird or dumb or fun it is, and just let it out. So once again, thanks for checking out my video, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Let me know in the comments what sort of videos you'd like to see, and be sure to check out our website and take some of our courses, or join our Discord where you can also make video suggestions like Reverend Captain Pierre, whatever his name was. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Be sure to draw your vegetables.